Okay, cool. And then, cool. Yeah, alrighty, sounds good. I think so. 43. I encountered a difficult situation online when I was 18 years old and my ex boyfriend tried pressuring me into sending inappropriate photos of myself to him. I was able to stand my ground and say no, but I know a lot of kids throughout the country are facing similar pressures, whether that be from people they know or complete strangers. And my goal as Miss America is to equip them with the tools to avoid sending a text to regret. I would love to know what the progression of my career is going to look like. My ultimate career goal is to obtain my Juris Doctorate and become a practitioner for the Federal Communications Commission because I want to have a front row seat at protecting kids online someday. That is why I chose that career path, and it's something I'm very eager to pursue, and that's why I'm pursuing it right now through my service initiative. A time I failed was around this time last year, and I was in Washington, D.C., talking to legislators and their policy teams about a piece of legislation I'm very passionate about. It's called the EARN IT Act. It stands for Eliminating Abusive and Rampant Neglect of Interactive Technologies. And I was not as prepared as I should have been for those meetings, but I have the chance to come back and meet with the entire Nevada delegation to discuss online safety and text to regret initiatives with them. And it's because of that experience I was able to learn and improve from it. I want them to understand that they should have the power to know themselves before any other social media site or advertising network does. I think one of the most dangerous things for kids online these days are the fact that advertising agencies are able to have all of this third party information about children without their consent. And I think that is something completely different when you're talking about adults, but when you're talking about minors, especially those under the age of 13 years old, and all of these ad agencies know more about them than they know about themselves, I think that is especially harmful to their mental health. Hopefully a steak and lobster because that is my favorite food in the whole world. I really love it. I don't eat it often, obviously, because that is one expensive meal right there, but that is something I do love. I went to a gala as Miss Nevada just a few weeks ago, and normally gala food is a hit or miss, but this one was a hit. They served steak and lobster, and so shout out to the Boys and Girls Club for that. Negatively, because obviously it is very important for everybody to vote. And I think one of the biggest reasons, no matter what the social situation around it is, that people don't vote is because they feel so discouraged by the political environment. And I think they are discouraged from feeling like their vote is going to make a difference, especially with issues that are very polarizing and might not be able to make an immediate difference. And so encouraging people that they have that franchise to vote is so important in every situation. I would be proud of my biography. I have a name for it already picked out. It is called Tailoring It, because Taylor, of course, is my first name, but there is also the profession of being a tailor, and they're always so detail oriented, very perfection focused. And I will say one of the biggest positive and the biggest negatives about me is the fact that I am a perfectionist and I'm always trying to strive for my goals. And so it keeps me centered, but it's also something I've learned a lot from, because it can be hard doing that sometimes. Well, first, I think it's important to seek to understand. That is obviously the first step in making progress in a conversation with anybody. And then I take it back to the 4 points of the crown, because what I always love to tell people is that if you can relate to even just a single point of this organization, a single pillar, if you can relate to your education and you're passionate about that, then you understand scholarship. If you're passionate about your career, then you're passionate about success. If you understand and resonate with even just one of the 4 points of the crown, then you understand why Miss America is relevant for young women. The best invention of the century, I'm going to go with cars, because listen, I like to work out, but I'm not somebody who's doing a lot of walking. Google Calendar has become my best friend, but in a more personal sense, I have really gained a new appreciation for my mental health this year, and prioritizing the ways that I can keep myself not just physically healthy, but mentally healthy. One of my biggest regrets in life was not pursuing therapy and counseling at a sooner point, because I think that's something I could have benefited from even in high school, even in college. But this year as Miss Nevada, I knew that I would not be able to get through this year alone, and so I chose to have that team behind me. Yes, one of my favorite things about the Miss America opportunity is that it encourages us as young women to be ourselves in order to contribute to something so much bigger than ourselves. And for me, I want that something bigger to be associated with not just being a national ambassador for the Miss America opportunity, but also being a national ambassador for my service initiative, being a national ambassador for myself and everything I stand for. Because at the end of the day, you have to represent all of those things as the next Miss America. Thank you.